This video is kindly sponsored by Thrive Market. Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today for my first video of 2026, and it's also nearing 8 months of breastfeeding. I'm so proud to say that. I think any amount that you can breastfeed your baby is just incredible. My goal has always been 12 months. There's such good research about, the longer you breastfeed, the better outcomes a baby can have with things like autoimmune illness, which clearly is a big thing for me, having Crohn's disease. I want to lower her chances as much as I possibly can. But the fact that I made it to 8 months, that is pretty spectacular. That is fantastic. I am so proud of my body. I have experienced in my life, people in my life who have seen me go through the challenges of Crohn's disease and the many surgeries I've had along with that. And I've had so many assumptions that I just simply cannot do what a typical healthy person can do. And very early on, postpartum, I had somebody come to me and say, "Oh, well, obviously you're not breastfeeding, right?" And I looked at them like, "What do you mean, obviously?" No, I am up for the challenge, and I don't want anybody to assume that I will not even attempt to try it. So the fact that we made it to 8 months, it's kind of like, haha, I did it. There have been many times in my life with my Crohn's and my ostomy that I've had moments like that. And it just feels really good to accomplish something so awesome. I feel fantastic about it. But that being said, breastfeeding is hard, no matter who you are. Breastfeeding is really hard with Crohn's, with an ostomy, I think. I think that's actually the bigger challenge. My Crohn's disease, I'm very thankful that for the most part, it's been status quo. Like, it hasn't been too crazy over the last few years. But my ostomy has proved to be a decent challenge with breastfeeding, just simply because absorbing nutrients and fluids is harder for me. And if you've ever breastfed before, you know that you need a lot extra, it feels like. It feels like you need to eat and drink all day. And with a baby, that can be kind of hard. It feels like I constantly just have to drink. Like, I literally joked to Zach last night, I need one of those helmets with the cups and the straws, that you put beer in. I need that for just, like, electrolytes and water. Because I feel like I'm constantly doing things, and the act of picking up my water bottle and sipping from it, that can be a challenge. Anyways, so we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to talk about just what the last 8 months have looked like and the things I've experienced and learned because of it. Breastfeeding is definitely a bigger challenge. It's a challenge in general. It is a hard thing to do, but it is a really hard thing to do with a chronic illness, and I just want to share all about that. But before we jump in, I want to thank a wonderful company who is sponsoring this video. They've been a long-time sponsor of my channel, and they have played a big part in being pregnant, having a chronic illness, breastfeeding, caring for a child, and just kind of being busy in general. That is Thrive Market. I thought breastfeeding was the challenge here, but it turns out that introducing solids to your baby for the first time, that is also a challenge. It is a fun one though, because I get to try new foods with her, see what she'll actually put in her mouth and not just throw on the ground. That's been fun. Where the challenge is though is finding healthy stuff that I don't have to worry about what's in it. What I have found for my husband and I is that Thrive Market has been huge in making sure that we're having healthy foods and snacks. So I know it'll be good for her too. What I love about shopping there is that I don't even worry about checking the label. That is something my husband and I do, just because there are certain ingredients that we don't want to have. I don't worry about that with Thrive Market because they don't allow over 1,000 plus sketchy ingredients. So I can just freely shop, get stuff for us, but also get things that are healthy for her, like these little purees. I'm so excited to try. We're gonna try this on some pasta. I can restock our kitchen with no fuss. I can get things for her to try out that are a little bit unique, a little bit fancy. And the really great thing is it comes straight to our door. With a kiddo, I love bringing her out to explore the world, but sometimes you just want to sit in your house, especially after the holidays. You want to sit in your house and not worry about going to the store. That's exactly what Thrive Market allows. And the shipping is fast, and everything comes in one piece. Nothing's broken open, smashed, leaking. Not once, and I have ordered a lot from them. If you want to start your new year off right and have healthier groceries that are delivered right to your doorstep, there is no better time to do it because Thrive Market is having their New Year's sale. You'll get 30% off of top products, plus when you use my link, thrivemarket.com/LetsTalkIBD, you'll also get 30% off of your first order, as well as a free gift worth up to $60. And you can stock up on things for your kiddos, for yourself, for your house. If you have kiddos that are starting solids, you'll learn that they make big messes. So Thrive Market also sells some lovely cleaning products. Kickstart your new year off right, take advantage of the sale, and stock up. It is such a great time to do it, and I'm so glad that I did. Thank you so much again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. Okay, so where do we even jump in? Let's talk about breastfeeding in general, especially for so long. I say so long. I mean, some people breastfeed for a few years, and I would love that. I'll be so honest. I absolutely love breastfeeding, even though it's been a physical and mental challenge. But breastfeeding for 8 months, I guess just looking back at early postpartum Maggie when Nova was like a day and a half old, and she latched for 2.5 hours overnight one night in the hospital, and that helped my milk come in. That was incredible. But I remember just sitting looking at her like, I was delirious. I was so tired. I think I actually hallucinated her giving me the middle finger. I'm not kidding. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This cluster feeding? Holy cow. I don't know if I'm going to make it to a year. And then, you know, things sort of settled out. It was like she figured out how to latch and she got a little bit more regular in her feeds. And you're thinking for half a second, wow, okay, I think I've got my routine down. No, that never happens. At least it hasn't happened so far. As much as you do get a little bit of a routine down, there are continual challenges that pop up. Just changes in behavior, or her needs increase or change a little bit, or her attitude. Sometimes she's just like, I'm not in the mood to nurse today. Things like that pop up constantly. And early on, I mean, if you watch any of my other breastfeeding videos, I felt like I was failing. I'm like, I gotta do weighted feeds. I'm so nervous she's not getting enough. Things like that popped up so often, and it really, I think, just it can impact your sanity. So you have to let go. Like, you are forced to just take a breath and be like, you know what? She's not going to starve because she didn't eat well for a day. Like, we're all right. So long as she's having diapers and she's hydrated, we're okay for a day. I have had to tell myself that so many times because just things change a little bit. They get a little out of whack from your semi-routine, and it stresses you out. It rattles you a little bit. I say that a lot with a lot of stuff. I'm like, that rattled me. It does, because you want your kid to be okay, and when something changes, it's like, ah! I think as adults we get so into our routines and we rely on them. This is something where you can't set expectations and have them come out perfectly. So where are we 8 months postpartum, 8 months breastfeeding? I think that certain challenges with breastfeeding have gotten easier. There's no issue with latching. There's no problem there. She's figured it out. We're all good. There's no nipple shields. There's no pain. There's nothing like that. I think my challenge that I've entered into the last month or so is the physical demand has increased greatly. I think as she's gotten older, her routine has changed a little bit. We have had a shift in the last couple of weeks, which I think is playing a huge piece in this. I think that Nova she might be going through a growth spurt. She suddenly has hit a time where she needs to eat a lot. And I told Zach last night, I feel like a vampire is sucking the blood out of me. And he goes, yeah, like Nova's your little vampire. She's literally sucking the life out of you. What started to happen, I would say maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, is she went from maybe needing to feed twice overnight to waking hourly. And even though I hate that people will like count the hours of sleep that you've had and be like, well, you got 8 hours of sleep. I'm like, yes, but waking up 8 times throughout the night, broken sleep is not good. It is not good. So I started to go a little bit crazy. Just a little bit. I was like, I am so tired. I need to get a longer stretch of sleep. And I fought it for a long time. I think another huge challenge with parenting of any kind, you get so much advice and it is always conflicting with each other. People will tell you what worked 100% for them, and it's like, you're not living this life. So you just have to take the advice and kind of do what you want with it. That's what I've learned. I loved having Nova in our room. I really did. And I wanted her to be with us forever. I know, that's ridiculous. But I wanted her to stay with us in our room for a long time. I learned Zach is very loud overnight, and she became a very light sleeper. And so it broke my heart, but we did move her to her room. Yeah. And she slept so much better after it. It was almost instant. Like, I was coming up with a sleep training plan of how we were gonna move her feeds, because she got to the point where she was eating about every hour and a half. And that is so hard. That was awful. So I made up this plan over the course of 2 weeks to just move her feeds a little bit further apart. Like, hopefully she would wake up a little bit later and later. And she wound up, I mean, I could definitely, I'm pretty sure, move to no feeds overnight right now. I'm not ready for that. But she went down to 1 feed in like 2 days. So it was definitely just the noise in our room, probably so many factors of just, she needed her own space. We've got the baby monitor, so we're good. You know, Zach watches her the first half of the night, and then I handle the baby monitor the second half, because he goes to bed later. It's made a world of difference. It's made a world of difference. I don't know if you've ever heard of reverse cycling, where they try to get more of their calories overnight than during the daytime. I think that was happening. Now we've shifted to where she's getting more of her calories during the daytime, but here's the new challenge that I've come across over the last couple of weeks since she is now sleeping longer overnight. I think this happens for most people. Your prolactin levels are higher at night, so you make more milk from, like, I don't know, 2 a.m. to, I've noticed 8 a.m. That's like my prime milk making time. That is her prime sleep time. Like, she sleeps till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So then the rest of the day, my milk goes down, but she wants more of it. Okay, so what the heck do we do? I think that is ridiculous. Whoever designed the body that way, that is stupid, and you should make more milk during the day than you do at night. That's stupid to me, but whatever. I didn't design how the body works. So that has presented a new challenge, because during the day she wants to eat longer on me, but I don't make enough milk for that. We had the challenge of she will not take from a bottle. The most we used to be able to get her to drink from a bottle was maybe an ounce, and now I'm learning maybe it's just because she was like, Mom, you're feeding me enough. Like, I'm being breastfed enough overnight. Why would I take the bottle? Because she's sleeping longer overnight. I'm realizing during the day, oh, I can only get so much from Mom. She is now taking a bottle. It has been so much better. I think another thing that has helped with that is I have always basically been the primary feeder. Well, Zach has taken a couple weeks off of work for the holidays, and so he's like, let me just like keep trying with her. And now he is able to feed her like a full feed from a bottle. before a nap or whatever. So well, I feel like we're starting to figure things out, but I'm also like, okay, I feel like, can I improve my milk supply during the day? There's the challenge now of, okay, so I'm making more milk overnight. I'm still going to have to wake up, pump overnight to make the milk for the daytime. I am so glad. And so I had so many people be like, why the heck would you even bother with that? Anything extra that I could have pumped in the first few months, I'm so glad I did, because I was making a lot of milk and she really wasn't taking a ton. So I froze it. I froze it. So now what I'm kind of doing is going into the frozen supply, using that during the day, like 6 ounces is all I need just to top her off. 2 ounces every few feeds. 2 ounces here and there. And then whatever I pump overnight or a little extra during the day, I am freezing. So I'm kind of refreshing my stash. But that has been so helpful to have that freezer stash. It's given me a little bit of peace of mind just to know I have extra. Also, I've been talking a lot about my own health and some things that I have to handle, including wisdom teeth surgery. I got to get all my wisdom teeth taken out. I can't feed her. I can't breastfeed her during that. Having that supply of milk, whew, I'm so grateful for it. So there's that. That is the breastfeeding piece. Now you're probably like, Maggie, she's nearly 8 months old. There's something else that comes into play around this time, and that is solid food. And yes, we've absolutely been doing that. We got the okay from our pediatrician to start around 4 months. She had zero interest. She was like, nah, I'm good. So I said, let's not even worry about it. Let's not add that stress right now. Waited till 6 months and then we started. And she has been trying all sorts of foods. And I'm really proud of myself for not really stressing myself out too much about it. A lot of the stuff that I give her is food that we have, and I just make sure, salt-wise we're good. All the precautions that you have to take with their food and stuff that you have to avoid, I'm taking. But I'm really trying not to stress myself out. I'm like, if we're eating it, let's just try it as long as it's safe for her. And she's done really, really well with that. As you can tell by my Thrive Market sponsorship, though, it is kind of fun. Like, what can I do? What can I try with her new? And I thought those little puree pouches, I thought that would be kind of cool to try on pastas and stuff like that. I don't know. As you saw, as I shared already. But I love that I can they have a lot of cool baby things on Thrive. So I was very excited to try that. Anyways, I think with the challenges I'm experiencing now and feeling like, oh my God, my supply, am I making enough during the day? Is she getting enough? That's been a constant thought in my mind since the day she was born. Even before that, when I was getting colostrum. There is this looming, like a sigh of relief knowing that your kid's not going to be on breast milk forever. They're going to eat solid food, and it's like, eventually that will take over. And she's, even over the last few weeks, improved. I feel like having Zach, who's just you could probably tell I'm a little bit more high-strung than Zach is. I think so much about things and just question myself so much, and I know that's so bad. But I do it. It's hard for me not to, because I think my own health challenges have just, that's been hard. But because he's so chill, the last couple weeks having him home, him doing a lot of like solid foods with her, he's just chill. And it has been so positive because I'm like worried, she's throwing your food on the ground. She doesn't seem interested in it. And he's just like, I'm just going to keep trying for like an hour. We're just going to sit there and let her play. And eventually, even though she's thrown most of the food on the ground, she'll start to put it to her mouth and start to eat it. And I'm like, you just needed the relaxed dad. You needed chill dad to do that. That has been so helpful. So now I'm noticing when I'm doing the food with her, she's starting to put it to her mouth sooner and sooner. So we are making headway there. I think just all of parenthood is my baby doing this right? Are they meeting these milestones correctly? And it's like, they will. They will. They'll eventually get there. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Any other kid. Don't do it. Just don't. I I can't tell you the amount of times other parents tell me what their kid has done and how they acted, and it's almost this expectation like Nova's gonna fall in line with that. She's gonna be identical. And I'm like, you know what? What you're telling me, fine, tell me about it. I'm happy to hear it, but I'm gonna let Novi do what she's gonna do. That's been huge. So with all of this, I think it's been such an incredible lesson to me, and I know I've mentioned this in other videos before. If you're somebody who's also living with a chronic illness of whatever type, you get so used to not trusting your body that things are not going to work out. That's what the last like 6 years have been for me. What surgery is up next? What other challenge do I have to face with my own body? And it was like looming in the back of my mind that you're not going to succeed with breastfeeding. Other people in my life have had that expectation of me. Just because I have some health challenges myself, I am up for the challenge of it, okay? It's a little bit harder. My ostomy has made it a little bit harder, but I'm good. Stop. I have found that breastfeeding, and just like, I know, pregnancy and all that in general, I have found trust in my body that I haven't had in a very long time. I've had to really work on hydrating well, and I feel like I fail every day at it just because it is a challenge when you're holding a baby and you're trying to feed them, or you're trying to clean them up, or clean the house one-handed. You know, it's hard to pick up the water bottle and drink or eat or whatever. But I have found just like the incredibleness of, wow, my body's working right for once. It really, to me, feels like my body was meant to do this. You hear that and you're like, whatever, roll your eyes. It's like my body has fallen into step with it. And I have never felt that. Like, since childhood, when I first got sick with Crohn's, I have never felt that way. I've always felt like, when is it going to work? When are things going to go right? And they have. So it's really, really cool. It's amazing. It's amazing to feel that way. So yes, super cool to have your body work. Now in that, as I just was saying, wow, my body's working with breastfeeding. I don't know anything about when your body kind of returns back to normal, okay? I know they say wait a year to get pregnant and all that. Over the last month, I have felt my body shift back to pre-pregnancy. Like, I don't know if it's a hormonal shift or what. I one day was looking in the mirror at myself after a shower. You know, sometimes you gotta check yourself out naked. Highly recommend. Looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, you look different. You lost weight. And I did. I am back to my pre-pregnancy weight. Like, there is no extra on me. I have lost weight. My jeans, all my clothes fit. Like, that didn't before. They all do, except for shoes, you know. My feet did grow, and they seem to have stayed that way. And my fingers. I just checked my wedding rings this morning. They still don't fit, so I'm just going to have to get them resized. I think the bone grew or something. I don't know. But yes, the jeans that at 6 months postpartum did not fit still. Like, I was still wearing bigger jeans. They all fit suddenly. I have felt a sudden shift back into normalcy. I almost feel like I'm getting a little bit of stomach achiness, a little bit of burning, and I'm like, please don't be Crohn's. Maybe it's just like the holidays and not eating super great. But I'm keeping an eye on that. I really feel like anything pregnancy or postpartum-y is going. It's like you're you again. And I know for a lot of people, they really strive for that. They're like, I just want to feel like myself again. I think because I didn't feel like myself, like I was waiting to feel like myself for so long, for years and years of struggling with illness, I feel like pregnancy and earlier postpartum and breastfeeding and all that made me feel like myself, like it was the healthiest version of myself, and I felt the most like myself then. And now I'm suddenly this is where I feel sad. I feel suddenly like I'm back to sick Maggie. And I know that sounds silly, like, no, you're getting back to you, but I liked the extra weight, and I liked the way it all made me feel, because it was better. So there is that little element of sadness where I'm like, I wish I was pregnant again. Or I wish it was like earlier postpartum, because I felt really good. You know, there is the giving birth pain and stuff. I'm like, huh, that was nothing. I can deal with a healing vagina and all that. That was no problem. Yeah, I do feel a little bit sad about that. Like, it's just a sudden shift, and I don't know if anybody can see it in my face. Like, I've even looked in the mirror at my face, and it has thinned a little bit more, and I noticed it just because I was looking at my stomach. Like, my stomach has had a little bit extra to it, and then it was like suddenly overnight it was gone, which was strange, just out of nowhere. And I've even noticed, if any of you guys have followed my ostomy bag challenges, I was using a one piece from Convatec. It was a steam body, and I felt like I was having a lot of trouble with it actually sticking to me. Like, it would leak a lot, and I thought, oh, it's that extra squishiness in your belly. I think that actually was the problem, because now that has seemingly gone away a little bit, and I tried the bag again, and I'm not having issues with it now. So I think that extra squishiness is gone. And the scale is telling me that too. Yeah. Like, oh man. So who knows? I don't know if that's going to impact breastfeeding. I'm keeping an eye on it, because it really, when I tell you the weight loss, that just happened. It was so fast, so sudden. And I'm keeping an eye on it, because I'm like, it did happen fast. Let's make sure it's not going to dip more. We're right at where we were before I got pregnant. So, I feel like that challenge, I just feel like I got a break from all that for a good year plus, and now I feel like I got to pay attention to it. As you can tell, breastfeeding has been a wild adventure. It is for anybody, but it definitely was for me. And even though that's the case, and you're stressed out and you feel like you're being suck dried constantly and you're completely exhausted. I even mentioned the exhaustion I have felt with Novi's increased need of milk. I have never been, even with Crohn's or any of that, I have never been this tired. Even late pregnancy, I have never been this tired. I feel like I'm pregnant with quadruplets. Like, pregnancy was nothing compared to this. Crohn's, nothing compared to this. I feel so out of it, because I'm putting a lot towards milk. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm putting it back into me, like resting, trying to eat and drink my best. That's hard. But with all of this, I have absolutely loved breastfeeding, even though it's been a wild roller coaster of a ride. It has been the coolest thing I've ever done. Like, I think it is, just like I love gardening, and I think that's what it is. I love gardening, and I love, picking that ripe tomato that you grew from a seed. How wild is that? I think that's why I like it. It's like a do-it-yourself project. I did it myself. I grew this baby to 8 months old. It's really cool. And the bonding that you have during breastfeeding, I love it. Just the little smiles, she unlatches and smiles up at me or giggles at me, and I love it. It's just our time together. It's my time to do my abdominal breathing that my pelvic floor therapist wants me to do. I told her this is my time to do it, because I noticed that if I do my abdominal breathing when I'm breastfeeding, I have a faster letdown. So that was like solidification that, oh, this method really does work for your nervous system. It really just lets you let go and have a letdown. I've learned so much about my body and how it is capable of things, even if the rest of the world doesn't think that it is. it's been very validating for myself. So that's my experience breastfeeding with Crohn's, with an ostomy, 8 months postpartum. What a wild and cool thing to do. Thank you so much for watching. Please share your breastfeeding journey with me because I love hearing, you know, how it goes for other people and the challenges that they've faced. Maybe if you're ahead of me, what to look forward to. But yes, and thank you to Thrive Market again for sponsoring this video. Make sure to take advantage of their New Year's sale. Get 30% off top products plus, and get 30% off of your first order with Thrive Market, plus a free gift worth up to $60. Love them. I make so many orders. I know that they've sponsored a number of times on my channel, but I've made so many more orders than you've seen because we rely on a number of their products. You probably have seen them like when I vlog and stuff around the house. So thank you to them. Make sure to check them out in the description below or by going to thrivemarket.com/LetsTalkIBD. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are looking for a way to help support my channel, consider liking this video or even subscribing. You can also check out my store at letstalkibd.shop. I have stickers and hoodies like these guys over here, just related to chronic illness and inflammatory bowel disease, something fun. And I also have a coupon code for my YouTube watchers. You could also become a member of my channel like the wonderful people scrolling on screen here. They've become a member and they have access to videos a little bit earlier. It's a great way to support my channel, and really, just watching my videos means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.